beneficiary of a trust is a wonderful thing, truly. Someone thought enough about you to remember you. Isn't that nice? Now, most people picture becoming a beneficiary of a trust like winning the lottery. The money just shows up, you smile, and life gets easier. But that is not how trusts actually work. In reality, the fastest ways to lose part or all of an inheritance, get dragged into years of family litigation, or pay taxes you never saw coming is to sit back and to be completely passive about your beneficiary rights. Hi, I'm Anthony Parent of IRS Medic One Team Legal and Tax, and every week I upload new content that could help you save your fortune. Be sure to subscribe. And if it's not too much, give me a like, which will help others see this content. If you are a beneficiary of a trust right now, or you expect to be one soon, this is what you need to do immediately. And almost nobody will tell you this until it's too late. First, get a complete copy of the trust document and read it. Don't accept a summary, a letter, or a verbal explanation. You are legally entitled to the full trust document. Now, once you have it, figure out whether the trust is still revocable or has already become irrevocable, whether distributions are mandatory or left to the trustee's discretion, who the trustee is, and whether the document contains any provision for removing and replacing that trustee. Almost every major dispute I see starts because the beneficiaries never read the actual words that control their money. Second, determine whether the trust has flipped to irrevocable status yet. Everything changes the moment the person who created the trust dies or loses capacity or has intentionally made it irrevocable. Assets become locked in place, the trustee's fiduciary duties become strict and enforceable, your rights as a beneficiary become much stronger, and the tax treatment can shift overnight. Far too many beneficiaries assume they have no power and no right to ask questions once the grantor is gone. That's simply not true. Third, know exactly what your legal rights are. In almost every state, you have the right to regular accountings, the right to information about the trust investments and expenses, the right to timely distributions if the trust requires them, the right to challenge improper trustee behavior, and in many cases, the right to remove a trustee who is not doing the job properly. Trustees are not royalty. They are fiduciaries who can be held accountable. Fourth, understand the tax structure of the trust, because this is where most beneficiaries get blindsided. Some trusts are grantor trusts, meaning the person who set it up pays the income tax, and distributions to you are usually tax-free. Well, that's nice. Other trusts are non-grantor trusts, meaning you get stuck with a compressed tax bracket and higher rates immediately up on relatively small amounts of income. The timing of trust distributions, the type of income, and even whether you have a foreign beneficiaries can completely change who owes what to the IRS. One wrong move and half of the growth of the trust disappears in taxes that could have been avoided. Fifth, evaluate the trustee. Not every trustee is competent, and many are family members who mean well but have no idea what they're doing. Watch for delayed responses, vague or missing accountings, personal expenses mixed with trust expenses. That's a huge red flag. Any hint of self-dealing. The trust document will tell you exactly how a bad trustee can be removed. Do not hesitate to use that process. Six, think carefully before you take distributions if you have that power. Money pulled out early can trigger income tax, destroy Medicaid eligibility for older beneficiaries, shrink the long-term growth of the trust, or defeat the entire purpose of an asset protection or dynasty trust. Some trusts are intentionally designed to keep principal inside for decades. Understanding the purpose before you touch anything is key. Seventh, prepare for the family dynamics, because this is where most inheritances actually fall apart. Siblings accuse each other of favoritism, information gets withheld, parents never explain their reasoning while they were alive, and everyone has a different definition affair. Secrecy does not prevent conflict, it almost guarantees it. Approach this chapter with an open communication and a willingness to get professional help early. Eighth, know exactly when to bring in an attorney. You need one the moment a trustee refuses to provide an accounting distributions without any explanation, the language in the trust is confusing, family tensions are rising, or the tax picture looks messy. You need to get an attorney here, right? Trying to handle this alone to keep the peace almost always backfires. Here's the bottom line. Being a beneficiary is not a passive role. Trusts are sophisticated legal and tax structures, and the beneficiaries who engage early, ask questions, and understand the rules end up with far more money, far less conflict, and a far stronger family relationship. If you are a beneficiary right now and you want to make sure your rights are protected, that the trustee is doing the job correctly, and the inheritance actually reaches you and your loved ones intact, schedule a call with us. We work with beneficiaries all over the world and actually around the world exactly on these issues, and getting this right can save you years of litigation and millions in unnecessary taxes and lost wealth. Now, what about foreign trusts? Well, to understand those a little bit more, just sit back and relax. The next video is on international estate planning. This is Anthony Parent of One Team Legal and Tax. Thanks for watching.